The best and worst from this week's WWE SmackDown and Raw. A week that has sure been a very confusing and controversial week, setting up WrestleMania in a way that none of us expected. We are not even sure how everything is going to work out. We are not even sure if the decisions that are being made are good. But I picked a few things to talk about here. Firstly, McAfee is revealed as a mystery caller. Now, this got a lot of people talking. This was one of the most underwhelming things that WWE has done in a while. We looked at how this whole Randy Orton thing is already suffering. Main event between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton is already lackluster. It's not even working as well as it should be. It started horribly by making Drew McIntyre lose, but then now we're at a point where they're just pulling something out of their ass. So what exactly happened? Randy Orton, who turned heel or turned back to heel, was talking to somebody on the phone, and there should have been one of the best angles going into this feud because everybody was wondering who could it be. Quite a lot of people could have been great additions. Quite a lot of people could have been a better choice than McAfee. And I am someone who actually likes McAfee, but that didn't make a lot of sense. And for like 2 or 3 weeks, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton have been kind of doing some brawls and all of that, but everyone is just like, it's the same thing as Raw. It's the same thing Roman and Punk are doing in Raw. And then, okay, fine, we're going to get this reveal. Everyone is excited. I am excited. I even theorized about who it could be. It was not even close to who I thought it would be, Pat McAfee. Now, I look at this and say, is WWE proving people right? Because quite a lot of people kept saying WWE is just doing it for TKO, it's just doing it for money. The brand is officially dead. Nobody gives a about the brand. Meaning that this Pat McAfee thing is just their way to boost numbers. And I don't like that because now the whole thing suffers. Now, I know people are still going to watch WWE regardless of what happens. If you know what I mean? But at this point, feels that they're not even trying to make us happy about their products. It's like they're trying to make us understand that this is money first. And guess who's giving the money? You guys are giving the money. Look, WWE main events have always been weird in their build-up. Sometimes it's a great month, sometimes it's a great year, sometimes it's a horrible year. But most of the time, we've known what we wanted. For most of the time, whenever we're going to the card, we have the main events as something that is something, you know what I mean, that it makes a lot of sense more than any other match. We could have horrible build-ups for any other match on the card. But when it comes to the main events, they spend more time in there because that's what most people, or that's the pull rather, most people, you want people to want, basically, yeah. But then now we're at a point where this is not even working in enough sense. But what can I say? And it looks like a lot of people are saying that, a lot of people. I've seen 0 people not complain about Pat McAfee as a person. That's easily one of the worst decisions you could have had. And not because Pat McAfee sucks, but because Pat McAfee has nothing, has no merit, has nothing to do with this. He wasn't even on commentary. He didn't even try to be there and kind of like tease the whole thing. The whole thing was just like, here you go, Pat McAfee is bad. What can I say? But what do I predict? What do I think is going to happen? I think Pat McAfee, they're going to build up this thing for like 2 weeks and we're going to have a bullshit general heel justification that doesn't make any sense. I think there will be a lot of boos coming in here, but that's not going to... Maybe it's because Randy's supposed to be a heel, but not everyone loves Randy now. But as it stands, it's not even interesting enough. Next, so about the cool stuff. The best thing. Brock Lesnar and Femi. Everybody thinks, even me, maybe not everybody, but I think that this is supposed to be a feud that is reserved for the main events. It should be the main events. Looking at the main events that exist now, this is a bigger deal. In the whole 2 nights, it's a bigger match than all the matches combined. And it's probably going to be the first match. We're not even going to get a Blackouts entrance for Femi. It's just going to come out and everything is just lights. You feel me? But regardless of that, what WWE has done here is much better, even though I still have reservations about, look, maybe they want to make Oba lose. You know, it's WWE, man. It's TKO, man. They might make him lose, or they might make him win and fuck up every other match. Regardless, if you don't know, Femi came out to challenge Brock Lesnar for the open challenge Brock Lesnar has at WrestleMania. The open challenge is basically just Brock Lesnar fighting whoever comes up. We expected all of us for him to come to WrestleMania and just wait, and then Oba might be coming out or Gunther, whatever. But at this moment, so took the challenge 4 weeks prior, and then after have just been going week. The first week he got over Brock, power bombed him, fall from grace, and then the second week he also got Brock again, threw him over the rope, and then the third week Brock came here ready, which is actually dope because it's really good height for Oba, and then they just stared at each other, and then they were stopped. You know what I mean? It's a great build. It's the build, honestly. Because you look at Obafemi, who is extremely young, he's like my age, like 27, 28, I think. So he is someone who is like held. Everybody basically thinks Oba is going to be the next Brock or the next Mary, even better Brock. But all of us, if as some of us know, things like this will never go the way we think it's gonna go. But that's another topic for another thing. But as it stands right now, Obafemi is the most favored or most backed person going to WrestleMania. Nobody has more support, in my opinion, in any match than Obafemi. Brock Lesnar is only his last year, I guess, but I don't think his last year means it's just gonna be putting over people. I don't think that's Brock Lesnar's style. Brock Lesnar is not a putting over person. He's someone who comes and destroys. If you're good enough, they're gonna give you the ball, but that comes after a very long taunting feeling, and they're not gonna go to like raise things there. But as it stands, we look at how people are even reacting to this. Everyone, especially me, saying they are not gonna let Obafemi win at WrestleMania. If they do, I'm gonna lose my mind. As some people are saying, he's definitely not gonna. They will not do that. They know what will happen. People will riot and leave. And I've watched WWE for long enough to know that nobody riots and leaves. Not even one person riots and leaves. But whatever it is, we're at a point where Femi is over, and Brock Lesnar is someone who has become such an interesting figure in WWE out of nowhere, because nobody even thought Brock Lesnar would give someone like this, a very new person like this amount of shine. And I like it. I think if I were to just put my ball there, I think Brock Lesnar is beating Oba. But if Oba wins, I'm losing my goddamn mind. Okay. Back to the worst stuff that happened. Carmelo Hayes is completely out of WrestleMania. This has to be one of the saddest parts going into WrestleMania. Not because I'm necessarily the biggest Carmelo Hayes fan. I don't even think his run was like that amazing or anything like that. But because it's just, there are always other ways you can go around this. It's how I look at it. Like, look, ultimately, I want Trick Williams to win the belt. Logically, Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes doesn't work now because there's no belt. They haven't even had any run-ins together. But to just wipe him out like that completely, I thought they were gonna find a way to put him in a triple threat or anything. But then, if you think about that, if he's in a triple threat, that doesn't work even more, in my opinion. Wonder if there is a bigger point to this. I know that even if we cry like this, it's not gonna make any difference in the outcome, because Sami Zayn came out last week, challenged Carmelo Hayes for the belt, beat Carmelo Hayes for the belt. Carmelo Hayes came back and said, I want a rematch. Sami was hesitant. Sami gave him a rematch. Sami beat Carmelo Hayes. We have there's nothing we can do. We are cooked. There's no, at this point, I don't know how they can insert him in there. They're probably gonna give him the Andre the Giant memorial thing again. And look, as you know, if you watch wrestling even a little bit, you know exactly people are not a big fan of Carmelo Hayes losing like that. But here we are. I don't know, man. I think he's out of the thingy of WrestleMania, or for at least for the match. They're probably gonna bring a celebrity to go fight him. Beats me, man. But regardless of what happens, it was not the best thing. So it is the worst. But Seth versus Gunther for WrestleMania is amazing. Seth versus Gunther is the only thing they could have done right now for Seth and Gunther. And I'm not going to participate in this delusion that Gunther isn't a big star, that we don't want Gunther at WrestleMania, regardless of what he did to Cena. And I'm the biggest Cena fan in the world. I don't care. I don't find him boring at all. I think it's amazing, actually. I'm not gonna be the person who says Gunther should not be there because he's boring. No, he had to be there. We're not gonna put him in a battle royale. He's too big for battle royales and mid carders. Seth Rollins could have had a better feud with Braun Breaker, but Braun Breaker is hurt. We could have continued the whole Gunther run about him retiring people, but the person who could retire right now, who's available to retire right now, is Rey Mysterio and is hurt. It's not going to happen. So I just don't. I wonder what's really the problem between these two people, because these two people have history. These two people have a banger match. If you go to any video, you find the people saying this is a horrible thing, saying this is a dope match between them two. It's going to be a great thing. We know that it's not the finality of the thing. We know that they're just having the match. They're probably going to unpack stuff on Monday. They're going to unpack stuff on the next week. But regardless of what happens, this is the better match for both of them. And here's something. I don't think Gunther is beating Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I think Seth is beating Gunther at WrestleMania. If Seth even loses, it would be because of Braun Breaker. It would not be because of him getting him over or something like that, because he is a villain right now. He's more of a villain than anything else. Anyway, thanks for watching if you actually watched for this match. Thank you.